right, Assalamu alaikum, everybody. This is me trying to stay really calm. Probably it's going to last 10 seconds. All right, thank you very much. I'm so excited to be here. I'm really, really happy. It's my first time in Pakistan. When I got the invitation, I was like, yay! Of course, first flight to Pakistan. I would like first, before I forget, to thank the organizing committee for inviting me for this amazing event. I want to specifically thank Najm and Tabish and Orley and everybody else who helped me be here today and helped me feel comfortable, although it seems to be a very easy job for all of you guys because you are extremely friendly. So as soon as I landed from the airport, the taxi driver to the shop people, I was literally walking by and somebody says, "Hi, how are you today? Are you from Pakistan?" I'm like, "No, I'm from Oman." You know? So people here are very, very friendly. And I want to ask, how many people know of Oman? Have you heard of Oman? So I come from the Sultanate of Oman, just to see how many hands. Muscat, Oman, not Amman, Jordan, yeah? Oh, I'm happy. I'm happy to see this. Okay, a little bit more, slightly more difficult question. Do you know what the population of Oman is? How many people? Because you guys are like 200 million. 200 million. Just give a rough guess of how many people. What's the population in Oman? There's no right or wrong answer. Yes. Exactly. High five to you. It's exactly 5 million. All right, so we're like literally like a village of Pakistan. So it's an honor. It's really an honor to be here today. As Musna said, I went to the mosque yesterday, and I was so excited I decided to pray there. So I stand and I say my prayers, and I see people staring at me, and I'm thinking, uh-oh, am I doing something wrong? Is it the way I'm praying? But then I was told I was actually not supposed to be praying in the mosque. So I find it a little bit strange in a sense, because in Oman we are known to accept diversity very much. So basically we have absolutely no problems or issues, or even the whole issue of sectarian doesn't rise an eyebrow. So we have Sunnis praying alongside Abadis, praying alongside Shiites. We recently had a huge mosque built for the Shiites, which was actually fully paid by the minister, who is a Sunni, who was opened by the Abadi head of religion sectarians. So we have absolutely no problem, no issue of sectors at all. Sunni will pray next to a Shiite, will pray next to an Abadi. And we intermarry from each other. I think that's a really big blessing in Oman. It's known to be very peaceful. It's actually a peacemaker company where we are known to be like the ambassadors between the East and the West. So if you heard of His Majesty's initiatives of fixing ties between Iran and the States, okay, or bringing back refugees from Yemen. So it's a very calm and quiet politics, a very peacemaking country. Now, that was all an invitation. This is another way it's saying, in other words, saying, please come visit us in Oman. So I flew here yesterday to share my story. It's a 2-hour flight, so it's really close. Please do come to Oman. We have a big population of Pakistanis in Oman. I'm sure you can have a lot. You will feel home. So I flew here yesterday to share my story. But before I share my story, I would like to share a story of an elephant, of a baby elephant. Who knows the story of the baby elephant who was tied up? So this is how it goes. Zoo owners wanted to have a baby elephant, and they thought that it's going to be easier to go to the wild and get a baby elephant and train the elephant rather than having an older one. So they went to the zoo, went to the wild, got a baby elephant, took him back to the zoo, and then they confined this baby elephant in a dark room, and they chained the legs of this baby elephant and put nails inside those chains. The reason is that every time the baby elephant tried to move or tried to escape, he will feel pain, and that pain will stop him from trying to escape. So the first day, the baby elephant tried to resist, tried to break those chains, but he felt pain from the nails, so he stopped. Tried again the second day, felt the pain, struggled a lot, and then he stopped. And the third day, again, he tried to break the chains, felt the pain, and he thought, this is too much pain. These chains are so tight, and the nails are painful. So a few weeks later, the zookeepers removed the nails from the legs. But the baby elephant didn't try to break the chains. Stop trying. 2 weeks, 4 weeks later, again, they tried to train the elephant. 2 years later, the elephant became a little bit stronger. They said, we're going to let this elephant go around. So they removed the chains, and the elephant started moving around. However, they replaced it with a rope. So then they removed the chains, and they replaced it with a rope. And the elephant would move around. As soon as he had the rope on his leg, he would stop. What's happening is that this elephant, even though he became bigger and stronger and obviously not tied anymore, he had made a decision years back that he can't break the barriers. He can't let go of the chains and that he is tied up. Now, I want to ask everyone here in the audience, just take 30 seconds. Look at the person next to you and ask that person, are you still tied to those imaginary ropes? And if they are, please ask them to cut it. 30 seconds. Speak to the person next to you. Thank you very much for the interaction. This is not something new. We are all built like that. We always think in our mind that we have these imaginary chains, where really in life, they're just ropes. And we're going to talk today about how we can break the barriers, how can we cut loose of these ropes. So against all odds, I was really happy because this is my first audience. I mean, I've spoken from east to west, I've spoken in China and Singapore, and I've spoken in Canada, the United States of America, Paris, Holland, Poland, all over the world. But it's my first time in this area here in Pakistan. And I'm really excited because we share things in common. You know, we're Muslims, Muslim-covered females, all right? And we have similar cultures, and we go through the same pains, if I may. So we're going to see, actually, these pains can be turned into gains. How can you change or use the pain that we go through into gain? And to be honest, the characteristics that we have, female, Eastern, Muslims. Are you kidding me? This is putting you on the spotlight. The whole world is conspired to make you stand out. People are looking for role models in these categories. And I can see at least 1,000 in front of me today. So I want you to be able to speak up because I know that each one of you has a story to tell. It's not true that there's a person who doesn't have a story. You need to look back and think, what is the story that I can share with the world? Because you know what? Do not underestimate the power of the story. You can change lives by sharing your story. And that's why I'm here today to share mine. So when I was the age, we're going to talk about aspiring high and dreaming big. When I was the age of 17, and I just entered the university, I wasn't very happy with a system called LAN, which is Local Area Network, where males and females used to chat with each other in the same room. So they wouldn't talk to each other because it's haram, it's rude. How can you talk to this male? But they would chat their day off on the Local Area Network. And I thought, so people are commenting about me because I'm open and I talk to everybody around me, but it's okay for you to be in a Local Area Network where you're chatting with each other in the same room. I thought that was ridiculous. So I decided to hold a debate whether we should remove the system from the university. And when I spoke to the dean, he said, are you kidding me? You have the entire university against you. Nobody would want us to remove this system, this regulation from the university. I said, listen, I want one thing from you. I just want to promise that if I win this debate, you are going to close down the system. So with all confidence, he said, sure. Obviously, not thinking that I would win. So with an audience of 1,200 students, including the president of the university and big officials, I held the debate, and against all odds, I won the votes. Thank you. So I went back to the dean and said, well, I guess I have to keep my word. They had meetings with the council, education council, and they had to actually reform and change the regulation and close down the Local Area Network. So it's no longer there, and this was at the age of 16. Never underestimate the power of one person or the idea of a thought and fighting for your rights. So it's very important to have visions and aspirations. Aspiring high becomes all much easier when you have smaller attainable goals. I want to pause here for a second and get everybody's attention, please. Now, everybody, it makes sense to have big dreams, right? Everybody has big dreams, has high aspirations. But sometimes you feel like it's very far. Do you have that feeling? Like, I want to do this much, but it feels like it's very, very far. Now, how can you make that vision come closer to you? Is to have smaller goals that are attainable along the way. Just to give you that pat on the back. Like you're doing well. Don't underestimate the power of these small achievements. I'm going to share a story of the little things that I started doing and how that opened gates and windows for me just because of these small attainable goals. And the clicker is stuck. Okay, so it started off with simple interviews. So this was in Dubai. Just getting over fear of interviews. And then this is during my conference in Paris. I was on the front page of the French newspaper. And I literally was so excited that I picked up the newspaper from the bookstore in the next morning after my conference. And I went around saying, moi, that's me. Yeah, the Arab covered Muslim girl in the front page of a French newspaper. Small attainable goals, but worth celebrating. And then it went from interviews to conferences. Again, that's a conference in Canada where I spoke about biofuel production and genetic engineering. And that's in the local newspaper. So they all sound like small little things that not something that you would put on your CV, but then how that opened doors to other bigger things. So then recently I was invited by, you all know MIT, right? One of the top universities in the world. So I was invited by MIT to coach and to train their students. That was 2 weeks ago. And this is MIT, which is a leading business school in Switzerland. Again, I was asked to speak, and I spoke about the power of empowering and engaging millennials. And I'm really happy to see millennials here today. Somebody was telling me, don't be surprised if you see a lot of the students. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's my target audience. That is my target audience. So I want to see, how many students are here in the hall? Can I see how many students? These are the people I love coaching and talking to. Come see me over lunch break, all right? And I gave a TEDx talk last year, and it went from that to meeting world figure leaders like President Sarkozy, ex-president of France over there, and then Prince Charles as well, who also called me a hyperactive, like everybody was like, hello, your highness. And I'm like, hi, oh my God, I can't believe I see you, So I was all over the place. We were chatting about education in London because I did my PhD in London. So a really friendly guy. It's amazing how all these politicians are actually really cool and down to earth. If you just cut down those formalities. I really hate formalities, obviously. So now the thing is, you'll notice that the bigger your dreams, the more scared you get. And Orlay today spoke about fear. Yeah, it's not fear. It's fear really that holds you back. Everybody here is capable of achieving their dreams and aspirations. Everyone, but it's the fear of breaking the barriers. And the more fear you get, the more paralyzed you become. So the power really, the empowerment, is trying to let go of fear or using it as a fuel. So a little bit of fear is not bad because it gives you that push to do something. So it's okay to be scared. It just means that you're about to do something really big and really amazing. 2 years back, I was invited by Harvard School. We all know Harvard, okay? So I was invited to speak to their graduates, to their alumni, and I'm like, you must be kidding me. What am I going to say to the Harvard Business School graduates? It was the first time they ever invited somebody from Oman, and I was the youngest speaker, again, female covered Arab girl, and I'm thinking, if they invited me to speak here, they must have seen something in me that I did not see in myself. So if they think I'm good enough to talk, then you know what? Hell be it. I'm going to do this. I had no idea what I'm going to talk about, but I thought I'm not going to say no to this opportunity. So I grabbed the mic. I said, yep, I'm going to talk to the Harvard graduates. And I got the mic, sat in the panel, and we delivered an amazing discussion. And I've got loads of business cards from Harvard professors saying, come and do your master's at Harvard Business School. So it was really a nice experience. I had a lot of fear. I almost threw up in the morning. But I didn't show that on stage. My knees were literally shaking on stage. I keep my smile and my knees are shaking. It's like, I hope they don't see this. But you know what? That beauty of overcoming your fears just makes the whole experience amazing. You enjoy your achievement more when you're scared and you overcome that fear. Just look at the fear in the eye and say, you know what? I'm scared, but that's okay. I'm human. I'm scared, but that's okay. I'm going to overcome it. And once you get that done, it's just going to open more and more doors. Now I don't even think twice. If I give a talk to Harvard and MIT and IMD, then I can do whatever it takes. So it takes you to break one barrier in order to not see the other barriers at all. Now, I want to talk about, this came out too fast. I had a very close friend. His name is Sheikh Khalfan Al-Aysari, and he was my inspiration. He was a religious figure in the country, but also a motivational speaker, an amazing reader, very close to the youth. He really inspired me. He was diagnosed with cancer 2 years back, and this picture was just 10 days or 2 weeks before he passed away. I went to visit him in the hospital, and he said, Lamya, I want you to work with the youth. I want you to empower the youth. I want you to go out and speak. And you wouldn't expect that from somebody who has a really long beard, right? A male saying, I want you to go out there and empower the youth. This is what happens in Oman, by the way. We don't have this whole male-female. It doesn't exist. Okay? It's about what you can offer. He saw that I can offer something to the world. And I said, Sheikh Khalfan, seriously, I'm not going to do that. You're here. That's your job. You're my mentor. 10 days later, he was not there. He asked me to have a radio show, so I spoke to my cousin, who was also a PhD in chemical engineering, and we decided to have or launch our own radio show with the title, guess what's the title of our radio show? The Art of Living. And that's the title of my talk today. You can see that the shadow, this is the poster we use, and the shadow there in the poster is the shadow of our late Sheikh Khalfan Al-Aysari. And this radio show is dedicated to inspire, to reach out to the youth, to talk about things that the youth suffer from but don't talk about. So we have a live 1-hour radio show where we receive phone calls and we discuss things on air. It's been amazing. So this is doing things for a purpose. Now, a lot of people say, they see me in university in Oman, they're like, wow, it's so amazing, you've done all these things. You saw the President Sarkozy and, Prince Charles, and you've been all over the world, and you're so successful, and you're so happy. And I'm like, yeah, okay, calm down, everyone. That's the tip of the iceberg. What you're seeing and what I'm talking about is just the tip of the iceberg. What they fail to see is how much time, energy, pain, struggle you have invested over the years in order to enjoy those moments. They fail to see all the things that are underlying that iceberg. So what I'm here that I really want to talk about today is to tell you the story behind the story. So you saw the pictures, all the smiles, right? Trust me, there were many more tears than smiles in order to get there. So I'm going to tell you the story behind the story. And my doctor actually told me not to talk about the low sides of my life. I refuse to listen to him, and I am going to talk about my story. And to be very honest, this decision just happening on stage, I was told not to elaborate on the story because I'm still in the healing process. But you know what? You don't know if you overcome your pain. They say that you don't know if you overcome your pain unless you're able to share your story without crying. So I hope my waterproof makeup is going to work. And it's going to share my story. So after all of this, what we call, or what people term as successes, I'm going to talk about the year of depression I went through with my last pregnancy. So I'm a mother of three boys, 9-year-old, 6-year-old, and a 1-year-old. And with my last pregnancy, I thought I had prenatal depression. So I went from an extremely active person, very energetic person, to becoming very sad, feeling lonely, although I'm never alone. When you're around people and you feel lonely, but you're actually around a lot of people? It's that sadness, the deep sadness that you had. It paralyzed me from doing a lot of things. I stopped my radio show. I stopped attending conferences. I stopped accepting invitations. I got to a point where I was not as interactive with my children anymore, and I couldn't even spend some quality time with my husband. I even left home and went to my parents' place. I didn't understand what was going on. I literally just couldn't comprehend what was going on. I had reached to the peak, or what I thought was the peak of my career, and I thought, wow, it can't get any better than this. And suddenly there was this crash where I got to a stage I couldn't drive. I could drive with my eyes closed before that. I couldn't even drive. I couldn't speak to my friends. and I couldn't smile. I remember once my dad said, "Can you please smile for me?" And I can't believe that somebody as happy as I am I physically could not smile. That's how sad I was. It actually extended for a whole year. People didn't know what was wrong with me. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I was told it was prenatal depression. I had my baby, still there. I was told it was postnatal depression. Until today, I don't know what triggered it, but I decided to see the doctors, and he said that, diagnosed it that, oh, you're predisposed, it's fine, it happens to high achievers, you're a thinker, your brain is very analytical, it moves really fast, and you are a perfectionist. It sounds good, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm a perfectionist. No, that's not good. Perfectionism is a disease, okay? You want to be a perfect mom, perfect daughter, perfect lecturer, perfect motivational speakers. Life is not perfect. So I started on my meds, and it really helped me along the way, and I was told not to share this with others because obviously it's not really something culturally acceptable to go outside and say, I'm suffering depression and I'm on meds, I'm on medication. And I thought, oh, really? So you ask me not to do that. And trust me, if you want me to do something, tell me you can't do it. Left the therapist, went to the radio show and said, give me the mic. And I went on air and I shared my story on air and I cried on air. And that's when I thought, okay, maybe I'm not healed yet, but I'm going to try to make myself stronger. Why? For others. Because I know a lot of people are suffering from this and they don't talk about it. And it's true. A lot of people came out of their shells and I had this, I suffer that, and it's fine. See, it happens to almost everyone. We just don't talk about it. We need to talk about it because it's okay. It's okay to fail and to fall as long as you get the choice. It's okay, these are my words, it's okay to fail and fall, but it's up to you to give up or to get up. And I decided to get up. And that's what I thought, that's it. I'm going to get up, enough of this. I have children and family, and I managed to come out of it. Not alone. You always learn how to ride the waves, okay? And there are two types of pain. One that changes you and one that breaks you. So I tried to use that pain into gain and try to make it grow. Now, there are a lot of voices around us that can pull you down, right? But on the other hand, we have a lot of voices, or few voices, to pull you up. I want to share with you a triangle of voices that I want you to be aware of when you think of your dreams and aspirations. You see, in life, we have this three triangle of voices. We have the people around us. When you share with them your dream and aspiration, they go, wow, that's amazing. Yes, you can, right? And they tell you in your face, oh, sorry, these are the ones who say, no, you can't, in your face. They say, no, you can't do that. That's too big. Who do you think you are to change the world? And they will tell you in your face. And then you have the second category that says, yes, you can. Oh, wow, that sounds amazing. And deep inside, they're thinking what? Yeah, right. Okay, these are the hypocrites. They show you that they are excited about your projects and visions, but you can tell in the eyes they're thinking, yeah, no, not really. And then you have a smaller group, which you need to pay more attention to, which are the true supporters. The people who really believe in you and believe in your aspiration goals, please hang on to them. You know why? They're very little. They're very little. They're like 5% or maybe 10% of the people surrounding you who actually really believe in your dreams and aspirations. And don't be surprised, even if you have people who love you, it doesn't mean that they believe in, like, you can have your parents who go, yeah, they don't necessarily really believe in your dream. I'm talking about the 10% who genuinely believe in your dream and aspirations. And that percent will be only less and less if your dreams and aspirations become higher and bigger. So the bigger your dreams and aspirations, the less the people who believe in them. So please do stick to the people. If you find them around you, hang on to them. These are gold. So look around you and think, who are these 5% in my life who really share my dream and aspirations? Because they are the one who are going to lift you up. We talk about being confident and that you're the biggest supporter of yourself. That's true. But everybody needs help and everybody needs support. And that's not a sign of weakness. That's how we are made. We're human. We need each other. So find your support. So that support, okay, it can be anyone from your husband. Okay, I've got my best friend there, got my family, and for some reason, my picture is covering my kids. So you've got my 3 boys over there. They wanted to come to Pakistan. Mama, please, how come you get to go to Lahore? Standard kids reaction, right? How come you're traveling again? Yeah. That's something else I learned, by the way. Me time. I'm going to be selfish. Yeah. I am going to be selfish. That's it. You need to be selfish sometimes. You know what? It's mommy time. I'm reading let go. No, I'm not going to do the dishes today. Nobody's going to die if I don't wash the dishes tonight. Okay? Let's learn to be selfish, because in order to help others, you need to be in a good condition. Thank you. And unfortunately, I had to learn this the hard way, because when I was during my year of depression, I couldn't do anything, so I had to learn it the hard way. So find your support, and of course, your biggest support is always from within, so believe in yourself. It's really important to believe in yourself and what you can do. Now, if you are going to get support, this is my last slide, if you are going to get support, make sure you give it back. I'm in front of about, 1,000 amazing people here. I have one request. Please stand up for each other. Okay, listen, let me tell you this. Teenagers and girls compete. Women empower each other. Thank you. So at the end, I see lots of diamonds here, but hey, guess what? Diamonds are only created under pressure. So embrace the pressure that you have and just use it to turn into diamonds, and you're all diamonds. Thank you so much for listening. Appreciate it.